What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Money Thursday. Oh yeah, it's Money Thursday, baby. How are y'all doing today? Hit me with a big old good morning. Are you guys fired up? Are you guys excited? Are you guys ready to hit the market hard today and lock in some big time profits? Because you guys already know me. I am fired up every single day to work with the best trading community in the world. You guys make it the best. You know you do. Always firing me up, getting me out of bed, bringing in that motivation and that hype, guys. I am fired up. I'm excited to be here to work with you guys and girls once again to lock in some big time profits in the market. So hit me with a big old good morning. Hit me with that big old woo! And let's get fired up, ladies and gentlemen, and let's make it happen. It is 9:01 in the market. And we do have a lot to talk about today, guys. There's a lot going on with penny stocks. We need to kind of dissect the broader market and talk about what's going on there based on the Fed meeting yesterday. So again, guys, I don't want to waste too much time. I want to dive right into it because, again, it's probably going to take about the next 30 minutes to go ahead and dive into everything and make it happen. All right, so Steve, what's up? Good morning, Mr. Angel, Steve, Nick, Real Spaz, what's up, buddy? Jamie, John, J-Dos, Barbie, Crypto Cole, Trader Girl, Beth, Nick, welcome to the team, Nick. Everybody go ahead and give Nick a warm welcome to the Alpha Day Trading family. Nick, we're happy to have you here. We are excited to work with you, and we cannot wait to see you posting up those big time profits in Profits Chat. So welcome, Addie. Good morning, Trendy Trader. Angel again, Kits King. Where's Sam? Where is the winner of the keyboard? My goodness. Mr. Sam yesterday nails it by a penny, right? By a penny. It was crazy. I'm like, where's your crystal ball? I want your crystal ball, Sam, because you got it. Right? You're a penny off. I'll take it. So that was awesome. So again, Sam was the winner of the giveaway yesterday for the mechanical keyboard. So that was, again, pretty awesome. He was about a penny away. He guessed 355.54, and at that time the market had closed at 355.55. I know it's showing 435.62, but again, yesterday we all confirmed that it was 435.55 was the close right at 4 o'clock. And again, Mr. Sam won it. So that's absolutely amazing. Sam's in chat. He's excited. He wants his keyboard. What's up, Sam? Good morning. Mr. Chris as well. What's up, everybody on YouTube? John, Mutas, Mr. Joe, Adam, Winston, Carl. Good morning and happy Money Thursday, guys. It is 9:03 in the morning. We have 27 minutes until that ring-a-ding-ding, until the bell rings, until the market is live and the market is open. So again, let's not waste any time. Let's dive into it. But before we do that, guys, I want to go ahead and set some expectations. And again, I'm just nothing but transparent with you guys. For those of you that are new, for those of you that have been inside of chat for the past year now, I'm going back to my old style of trading, right? I've been slowly, progressively working back into my style of trading and what works for me. So what you're going to notice is I'm going to switch a few things up, right? Took a step back late last year. Again, you guys kind of know what took place late last year. I had a lot of things going on, and again, I was just running into a rut with my trading, scaling back, stepping back, and 2022 was my year that I wanted to hit my next threshold in profits. I wanted to hit $250,000. Well, the first 2.5 months of this year, I've still been just kind of scaling up little by little, getting more aggressive little by little, just to recondition myself. Because again, it was a few months that I was just, it was iffy. It was choppy for me, right? With the move, I had a lot of stuff going on. And again, it just really impacted my trading. So I took a huge step back and repositioned myself, and I'm slowly scaling back up into more aggressive size to see bigger profits and just reconditioning myself to that. So what you're gonna notice is I'm full blown going back to the way I used to trade with the type of size, the type of risk, and my profit expectations. So again, you're gonna notice that I could be looking at big losses and you're like, yo, what are you doing? Again, I'm going back to how I was trading before. So again, I'm just doing a little bit of a maneuver, right? So right now on my main account, back to what I was doing before. So you're gonna notice some big time profits and some big time losses and some big time, position sizes. So again, I've been conditioning myself. Again, I like to be credible and transparent, let you guys know what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. So you're not like, yo, what's going on with Josh today, right? This is something that I've been building myself back into little by little for the past few months now. Fidelity, I'm going to continue to trade Fidelity. It's a great broker, and I'm going to try to trade the way I trade on Fidelity to see if that works. And if it does, I'm going to make a full transition to trade full-time on Fidelity, especially if I can just gain that confidence and that comfortability. That Fidelity is going to be the best of the best platform for me to do this on. If not, you'll see me continue to make some transitions to different brokers. But again, I just wanted to set those expectations ahead of time so you guys weren't thrown off. Normally seeing me take, 1,000 shares, 2,000 shares. Why in the world is Josh taking 10 and 20, right? 1,000. Well, again, I just want to set those expectations really quick so you guys know and you're fully aware that I've been slowly transitioning myself back into this, and today is the day that I'm ready to make it happen, guys. All right, so with that being said, you guys are fully aware of what's going on. You're not like, whoa, Josh, did you accidentally fat finger your trade? No, it's expected. I am planning on rocking and rolling and seeing some of those big time profits because I still see the potential to hit my goal this year, and I would really love to hit my goal, guys. So we're gonna make that happen, but let's not waste any time now. You guys are up to speed, wanted to be transparent, wanted to be fully upfront with you guys on what's going on behind the scenes, but we are all set, ready to rock and roll, all right? So let's go ahead and talk about what we have going on. I've tried Interactive Brokers, was not a fan of Interactive Brokers platform, but I know you can API it with others. I'm gonna try TradeStation next. See if TradeStation's any good. I'm gonna try TradeZero. If those two fail, and at worst case scenario, I'm probably gonna go to Cobra or Centerpoint Securities. And again, I'll just let you guys know what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, so you know what platforms I like, which ones I don't like, and the reasonings at the end of the day. All right, guys, so again, let's go ahead and just briefly talk about what we have going on. All right, so MULN is going to be the #1 stock we're watching today. This is just all momentum. This was a #1 gainer there on Monday, right? So Monday, the stock was ripping and running a little bit. It was very choppy, but we had a couple good setups. Tuesday was very choppy as well, but we had a couple good setups. Yesterday, not a lot going on. Nice little end-of-day rally, and now we're gapping up, and we have great volume in pre-market, and we're finally above that 2 to 209 resistance. That was a level that we've been talking about since Monday, that in order to get that next leg up to the 50 SMA, right around 237, we've got to break with good volume 2 to 209. And what do we see here in pre-market? Very strong, healthy volume break over that 2 to 209 resistance. So really want to see this stock staying above $2. We have potential to 237. Now, if we are very, very strong, and this is the stock that every single trader lands on, we could see a break above that 50 SMA, and your next targets on MULN would be 276 if this is the #1 stock of the day, and if this stock absolutely steals the focus, steals the volume, and just rips and runs, okay? So, MULN, definitely going to be a #1 stock that we watch today. #2, we're going to be watching PIK. So this morning, PIK teams up with Disney to celebrate the release of Cheaper by the Dozen on Disney+. PIK, lowest float stock with great volume, currently up 93%, trading 9 million shares here in pre-market. On average, it trades 1.3 million shares. We got a nice little break above 260 resistance, breaking above 3, holding strong. Looks like we're flagging right now in pre-market as well. So PIK is definitely a stock we should keep on watch. We have some good news. Great volume, big gap up. Currently 5 million in floats. So again, we know that the stock could absolutely rip and run. But again, we're very overextended, right? We just went from 184 all the way to 371. If there were individuals in this stock, again, it had a nice little green day yesterday. So again, that tells me that maybe someone knew something, maybe a group knew something that no one else really knows, right? Because again, we saw a little bit of a bounce followed by that press release and then a huge gap up. So we already have some traders maybe interested in PIK from that little pop end of day yesterday. We may have some swing traders or simply have bag holders in the stock. So you got to think, right? Are there any swing traders here to where you could see initial profit taking out of the gate? Do you think that there are a lot of bag holders potentially on this stock to where now it's up 91%? They're starting to break even or make up some of their loss to where they want to dump the bag and get out of this trade. You just got to be mindful that that could take place. So out of the gate, if we do get that washout long, where could it come back down to? 261, guys. We could see this wash out all the way back down towards around that 261 support, but we do have light support right around 3. It's a psychological support level. So $3 is going to be a decent little level of support. But if we do see PIK dropping below 3, we do have potential to fall back down to 261. Top resistance right now at this point in time, it's gonna be right around 410 to 434, and that's the 50 SMA. And that level also lines up with some prior levels on the daily chart. If we ever break above that 50 SMA, we could see PIK up towards around $5 today. So we will definitely be watching PIK out of the gate to see what takes place, right? Is it gonna open and just rip on up to that 410? It could. We'll get prepared, and if that takes place and we see a nice gap and go, we could definitely look to take this for a nice 30 to 40 cents to the upside for a nice little trade right out of the gate. But one thing I also want to hit on is what? Not only could there be swing traders looking to lock in profits, bag holders getting out, not only could we see a washout long based on those separate reasons, but market conditions with penny stocks. What have we been seeing a lot of these top gating penny stocks do right when they open at 9:30? They fade and fall, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, top gaining stocks, they open up, they attempt to move higher, they get rejected, they fail, they move lower. 10 o'clock, 10:30, they set up, they start ripping. Okay, so we've seen that Monday, we've seen that Tuesday, we saw that yesterday. It's pretty safe to say we could definitely see the same types of market conditions today as the tone has been set. So again, I'm stepping back the first 30 minutes. I don't plan to be aggressive the first 30 minutes because again, the best opportunities this week, the best setups and the best trades have all presented themselves after 10 o'clock. So I expect to see PIK move on down. But again, today's a brand new day, brand new opportunities. Anything could happen, right? Every day is a brand new day in the market, but it's worth being mindful of what we've seen the past 3 days and then taking the whole, there could be bag holders into consideration. What if there are swing traders here that want to lock in profits because the stock's up 85%? These are things that you have to think of before the day starts to get that much more prepared. All right, so again, across the board with small caps, a lot of these top gainers fading and falling, setting up around 10 o'clock for the best opportunities. I'm going to sit back out of the gate and wait for those best opportunities right around 10 o'clock, guys. So we're definitely going to watch PIK right around those levels. We have a great press release. We're gapping up huge, great volume, nice low float stock. If we see the stock set up today, it could definitely rip and run. All right, so PIK is number 2. I know you guys want to watch GLG, but I'm not too crazy about GLG, all right? But GLG is up off earnings. GLG has really good volume, number 2 on the leaderboard, currently up 67%, 101 million in flow. Again, I know the float's large, but it's a cheap enough stock that we could see the stock rip and run a little bit, all right, guys? So 37-cent support. That's your support level right off pre-market lows, 36.95. So pretty much call it 37 cents. If you hold above support, you establish a double bottom, you get a strong bounce, you see a lot of volume moving in around 37 cents, that's a time to make an entry, and you could look to take this up towards around 49 and then 50 cents on GLG. We do have potential to 55 and then 59 cents today on GLG. Again, it's up off earnings, number 2 on the leaderboard, 67% gapping up, 20 million shares traded. On average, it trades 1.38. So we have a good gapping stock. It has a catalyst, right? Great relative volume. And again, it's a cheap stock. I know it's a large float, but again, it's not going to take a lot to get this 40-cent stock moving. We could see 10-cent spikes, 15-cent spikes, and we could definitely look to lock in some great profits on GLG. Again, I'm not too crazy about it, but again, I know a lot of you guys were looking at GLG, and if this is your ideal type of trade, one of those cheaper stocks, maybe it's a little bit slower and steadier, right? And you can manage this over 30 minutes to an hour, scale in, scale out, this would be a good opportunity. So we'll definitely watch GLG above 37 cents. And again, we could see it back up to 49 and then 50 cents on GLG. So those are gonna be the top 3 stocks that we're watching right out of the gates. Right now, we got some back burners that definitely need to be kept on watch today, guys. HOUR for the mid-candle breakout. All right, so we got a beautiful mid-candle breakout opportunity with HOUR. We do have support down at yesterday's lows, right at 323. So yesterday's lows, 323 on HOUR. We want to see the stock not move any lower than 323, right? Ideally, we want to see this starting to break above yesterday's close, right around 352. That's where we'll probably start to see that first pop of volume really start to move on in. We do have some potential up towards around yesterday's open at 376. That spiking high from the 9th of March, right around 375. And then we have some good potential to the upside, right? We have potential to yesterday's highs right around 394. We have potential to Tuesday's close at $4. And then we could see this all the way back up towards around Tuesday's spiking high, right around $5. So keep HOUR on high watch above 323. We really want to start to see this breaking above 352. That's where I expect to see some volume move in. We could see it up at 367, 375. Breaking over 375 is when this thing could really start taking on off up towards around 394 to $4. And then breaking over $4, this thing could really take on off back up to Tuesday's spiking high, right around $5. So HOUR is going to be on high watch for the possible mid-candle breakout formation today. So keep that one on high watch, guys. SONM was a stock that I was watching for a possible mid-candle breakout, and it was setting up for a mid-candle breakout, but we got a very big explosive move right at the end of the day, and we already saw the stock run up towards around 148 last night in post-market. So we may not see anything really happen with SONM, but I do want to keep the stock on watch above yesterday's resistance right around 108, right? So if we can hold above like 106, 108, somewhere around yesterday's resistance level, as you guys can see on the chart, we could see it back up at 123 to 125. So there could be some opportunity. And if we do indeed start breaking over yesterday's close and yesterday's highs of 122, we could see it rip back up towards around yesterday's post-market high of 148. Again, there's not a lot of volume. It's not a mid-candle breakout because, again, we already had that nice run up end of day, but I'm looking to see if we have momentum follow through today on SONM. A simple, clean, strong break over 123. We could absolutely see this moving on up towards around 148 on SONM, but it's a back burner stock. It may not do anything, but it at least has some type of opportunity to add it to your watch list to get prepared. And if it does indeed start moving on up and we see volume moving in, we already know exactly what to expect. We know exactly what we want to see and how we can take a trade on SONM and exactly where we should be looking to lock in some profits as well. So get prepared on SONM. It has some potential. Right now, it's a back burner stock. HOUR is a back burner mid-candle breakout formation as well. And then you got SONN, all right? So I don't really expect to see too much with SONN. I'm not a fan, but it's a back burner stock. We had a nice gap up, decent moves yesterday. It's still trading a little bit in post-market and pre-market, but it's slowly fading on down. Support right now on SONN is 45 cents, right? So as long as we stay above 45 cents, we could see a nice little bounce. We're just in one big channel, right? Bottom channel support, 45 cents, right? We can come down to the bottom of the channel and we could see a nice little bounce. Or we can hold a higher low above the channel, which shows strength, right? If we can hold above 50 cents and move back up to the top end of the channel, top channel resistance, we could see a beautiful break over 63 cents, right around 63 to 64 cents. And we still have some potential up towards around that 200 SMA, right at 72 cents. All right, so if it comes down to 45, you could see a nice little bounce. You could scalp it. It could bounce back up to 64. But what really shows some strength is if we do not come back down exactly to supports of the channel. If we hold a higher low, I would say above 50 cents, we could start to see some volume move back in, at least up to top channel resistance right around 64 cents. Breaking over 64 cents, we have potential to 67 and 68. And then anything over that level of resistance, the 200 SMA would be next, right? So this is a back burner play. If it does start building on up, if it does set up and we have some volume here, we definitely could see some opportunity with SONN. But SONN, HOUR, and SONM are going to be back burner stocks at this point in time. Top stocks we're watching right out of the gate, MULN, PIK, and GLG. Now, I do have a few other back burners that I'm just going to briefly discuss because I don't want to kill too much time. Oil is moving back up from 95 a barrel to 105.50, or I'm sorry, 101.50. What are we starting to see? Right? What's going on with small cap oil stocks? Small cap oil stocks are starting to grind back up. INDO, INPP, HUSA, right? You got MXC gapping up a little bit, CEI gapping up with some volume. So we're starting to see some focus return, and the attention is shifting back on over to these small cap oil stocks. So we continue to see oil grinding to the upside. If we ever start to see a lot of volume move in, and it is squeezing and it is ripping and it is moving to the upside, right? All of the attention and a lot of the focus in small cap land, penny stock land, is going to return to these small cap oil stocks. Again, INDO, INPP, HUSA, CEI, you got ENSV, you have MARPS. I mean, there's a lot of stocks that you can look at, but the ones that I like the most are going to be INDO, INPP, and HUSA. So I am going to be watching oil today. And if oil continues to rip to the upside and it has a good day, we could see HUSA moving, right? We could see INPP moving around. We could absolutely see INDO moving as well. So we do have even more stocks on the back burner as a backup plan, right? If MULN does nothing, if PIK does nothing, if GLG really doesn't do anything, and these other back burners like SONN and HUR are not doing anything today, but we see oil having a good, strong day, our focus is going to be with these small cap oil stocks, INDO, INPP, and HUSA. So that's going to be our watch list today. We got 3 stocks right out of the gate. We have about 5 to 6 stocks on the back burner, but there's a reason we're watching these stocks, and there's a reason they're currently on the back burner watch list. So we have a great watch list to start the day. We're prepared, we're ready to go. We know where the best of the best opportunity is, and now we just need to sit back, relax, and wait for the best of the best setup to present itself. Okay, so let's very quickly dive into our markets briefing that I put together this morning here with the overall market, right? So yesterday was a wild day in the market. We saw the SPY drop over 6 points after the conclusion of the FOMC meeting, and then we saw it push back up aggressively, right? 10 points to the upside and to a new high of day. It was absolutely insane. Big time moves with the SPY the last 2 hours of the day. So what exactly took place? Why did the market drop on off 6 points? Why did the market rip on up 10 points into a new high of day, right? So here's what I put together. The initial move lower was due to the slight surprise that the market received, right? So we initially saw a potential rate hike of a range of 25 basis points upwards of 50 basis points. So that was the first article we saw. The Fed announced that it would be anywhere from 25 basis points to 50 basis points. What did we know yesterday? The market's pricing in 25 basis points. If it's anything higher than 25, we're going to see a negative reaction. It was between 25 and 50. We saw a negative reaction. It was a slight surprise. But the biggest thing was the Fed said that we would likely see 7 more rate hikes this year. The market had priced in 3 to 5 based on my research. So everybody was expecting 3 to 5. They said we would likely see 7 more rate hikes this year. That was another slight surprise to the market. So those two things, that's why the market was driven down 6 points to the downside. Okay, so we know why the market took an initial poop to the downside, but why in the world did it rip up 10 points at the end of the day? So during Powell's interview, right, I watched his interview last night. He stated a recession is not likely. He said that. A recession he is not concerned about. It is not likely. And his reason is the economy is still very, very strong. And he believes the economy can still flourish, even with everything else going on right now. He also stated inflation is not a huge concern, right? Inflation to him is not a huge concern. They feel like they have inflation very strongly under control, and that we would have more details in regards to the FOMC meeting and inflation when the minutes are released, and that's going to be released 2 weeks from yesterday is when those details from the FOMC meeting will be released. So the market took this very positively, and that's why we saw the strong rebound and a nice little end-of-day rally. So here's what I believe is going to happen. I do believe we can see the markets continue higher short term, all right? Possibly testing that death cross, that 50 SMA, that 200 SMA, up towards around 445 to 450. Definitely think we could see some short-term action to the upside here in the broader market, up towards around that 445 to 450. However, I still do not believe we've put in an official bottom, right? There's still a lot of other things going on, right? So again, I think this is a short-term move. I do think we'll see the markets move lower into the summer months. I've been saying this for 3 months. I'm still going to say it. That's still my thesis. That's still where I'm convicted. And I still don't think we put in an official bottom. I still see more room to the downside, but this is a good time to build a long-term portfolio. This is a good time to cherry pick. This is a good time to pick the bottoms on some good names non-aggressively. Be very calm, be very cool, be collected. Don't be too aggressive, as I still think the markets have more room to the downside. So for now, we play what the market's giving us. The market's giving us action to the upside. We saw a lot of positivity yesterday. We do not want to short against this strength, and we do have some strength to the upside right now. We do not want to be trading against the strength. We want to be trading with it until that strength dies on off, until we see any kind of sign that the market could be rolling back on over. So for right now, today, tomorrow, coming to the next week, we are looking at long opportunities on the SPY. We're looking to trade with the strength to the long side. So again, you're not going to see me trading UVXY. You're not going to hear me talking about puts. I'm really going to be looking for the best of the best long setups, as I do believe we have another maybe week or two to the upside. Now, when those minutes are released, when those details from the FOMC meeting are released, we'll have more of an idea on how the Fed plans to deal with inflation, the rate hikes, everything that they have planned out. And then we'll see the markets potentially react when that data comes out. We still have Russia-Ukraine tensions. That's still going to affect the market to a certain extent. There's still some things going on that could impact the market and continue to drive it to the downside. But for now, short term, we're definitely going to be looking at good long opportunities. And I went ahead and put that little market briefing together for you today. And I was up late last night, kind of just researching the market. Again, I saw a lot of you guys talking that I was up at like 8:30, 9 o'clock last night. You know, I was watching the briefing, I was rewatching it, I was taking notes, really trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together to get a really good idea on what was driving the market in the directions that it was moving yesterday. And I got a pretty good understanding, and we know exactly what's taking place. And I am confident for the next week or two, we will continue to see the SPY and the overall market have some good green days to the upside. Okay, guys? So that's kind of my thesis. That's what I'm looking at there. If you guys disagree, I love disagreements, right? I love you say you're wrong, Josh. Here's what I think. Definitely throw that up. If you guys disagree, if you have anything else you want to add, throw that up, guys. That's why we're here together as a community to work with one another, to pick everybody's brains to learn. All right? So that's what we got going on. We're definitely going to be watching the SPY and the Qs today. Want to see what takes place when the market opens, but we'll definitely be watching the SPY and the Qs. But I'm going to be watching oil off to the side, guys. Going to be watching oil to see if oil starts ripping on up, to see if we get any action with INDO, INPP, and potentially HUSA. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and take a vote. Let's cast a poll. What stock do you think is going to do the best today? Do you think it's going to be MULN? If you guys are on YouTube, go ahead and type it up. MULN. You think it's going to be PIK? Do you think the number one stock today is going to be GLG? All right, maybe it's HOUR for the mid-candle breakouts. All right, or is it going to be a small cap oil stock? So again, what stock do you think will do the best today? So if you guys are new to chat and you have your chat box open, right at the top, you're going to see a little notification that just popped up. What stock do you think is going to do the best today? Go ahead and click on that. Go ahead and cast your votes, ladies and gentlemen. I want to see everybody inside the chat casting those votes. The poll is in. You got 30 seconds to do so. Click right at the top and go ahead and cast your vote. What are we thinking inside the chat? PIK has got 42% of the current votes. What are we thinking about over on YouTube? What stock do you guys think is going to do the best today? What is an oil ETF? USO is an oil ETF. Yeah, he said that over and over and over. The economy's strong, the economy's strong. No recession, no recession. And he was very stern, very strict, very hawkish tone. So overall, he's very confident that they have everything under control. The economy's strong, the economy can flourish, and he has no worries whatsoever. But we'll really get a great understanding when the minutes are released. So right now, out of the gate, let's go ahead and watch PIK, because right now, we have actually 44% of chat saying MULN, and we have 33% of chat saying PIK. So the top two stocks right now, guys, it's going to be PIK and MULN. Again, we see a lot of decent little setups, right? The first 5 minutes out of the gate, but they've all been failing this week. I'm not trading penny stocks until after 10 o'clock, guys. I'm not going to trade penny stocks until after 10 o'clock, right? If I take a trade, it's going to be a quick scalp, right? But it's not going to be an A+ setup. I'll look to scalp the market. And it's on, baby. It's on. History repeats itself. In 2018, the Fed was concerned about inflation. They were wrong, and within a quarter or so, the risk shifted to recession. This chart shows how the equity markets reacted. Seems eerily similar. P.S. Value then faded and growth ripped. That is pretty eerily similar, isn't it? That is very similar. So that suggests a couple weeks to the upside if it's very similar. And what happened, again, I said 2-week horizon. We'll see what takes place and get those details from the Fed meeting. That'll put us right. That's crazy. That's eerily similar, man. And you get that another big old leg down. So we'll definitely have to keep that in the back of our minds. Like you said, it's in the back of your head. If we rally a little bit here the next week or two, that's going to line up exactly like you have shown there, Corey. And that puts us right around my 2-week prediction, my 2-week time frame on when we'd see the markets hit those resistance and possibly roll back over. So get ready for more room to the downside, guys. So nice little spike, nice little gap and formation on PIK, and we had, it was 50-50, right? Either A, it's going to be a nice little gap and go up to 410, which you got it right out of the gate, or it was going to be a washout long. It wasn't a washout long. It was a gap and go, break over pre-market highs. You could have grabbed a quick 30 to 40 cents out of that trade, and that's what we stated right before the market opened, right? Either it washes out down to that 261 and you grab a dip, or if it starts breaking pre-market highs, you got a quick little trade to 410 off a gap and go. And that was a beautiful little trade there, guys. We got oil moving to the upside. We do see INDO, INPP, all those are gapping up, 15 to 20% right now. MULN has support at 192, guys. So if you get a quick drop, a quick dump, and we do come back down to 192, that's a good dip buy level on MULN. Again, HOUR for the possible mid candle breakout team, right? So HOUR for the possible mid candle breakout. Supports all the way back down about 25 cents away, which is a pretty far way down. The HOUR does have potential to have a nice little rip and run today. So I'm going to take a starter position on HOUR, right, on my Fidelity account. So I got filled at 359. Again, I'm just going to scale into this, right? I have two accounts. One account, I'm scalping aggressively. My other account, I'm going to like tier in and scale in. So this is just me getting my feet wet. Again, if it does not work out and I do get stopped out, it's very, very small risk compared to what I'm able to risk on my account. All right. If it does indeed set up and confirm what I think is going to take place, I will go full position and I'll look to scale out at some of these targets. So I'm in 500 shares right now at 359. Again, this is a starter position to get my feet wet to see if we do indeed get this full blown mid candle breakout today on HOUR. All right, so I'm long at 359 on HOUR, guys, just so you guys know. Right now, as long as we don't make a new low of day, right, ideally not coming back below 350, but as long as we stay above low of day here, and we do see nice healthy pullbacks and we set up for a re-entry, I'll continue to add to my position as again we see that initial little pop here and we're starting to get that action for the mid candle breakout. If we do start falling back below low of day, I'll go ahead and get out, but again, very, very small risk compared to what I'm able to risk. And I do like mid candle breakouts, right? When they work, they work. When they don't, you have nice tight stops. When they work out, you have some big targets. It just takes a little bit of time to really get these working on out. All right, guys. So right now, nice little red to green on MULN. That's exactly what we saw. Nice little 3 candle pullback to $2. Nice little red to green formation here over on MULN. Remember, we had 2 to 209 resistance from Monday and Tuesday. So if we stay above 209, and this is a healthy decreasing volume pullback, I would expect to see buyers move in off that 209 level for a quick break over pre-market highs of 217. Over 217, you could see a quick run up to 237. So definitely keep MULN on high watch, guys. Above 209, if we start to see buyers move back in and we see this breaking pre-market highs, this thing could really start taking on off to 237 on MULN. So definitely keep MULN on high watch right now at this point in time, team. Breaking over that pre-market high of 217 on high volume, you can see this rip on up. 237 next target. Stops would be under 209. All right, so right now, we do have HUSA, IMPP, INDO all starting to move on up, as right now oil is having a nice little pop here today, starting to get back over $100, and it's also starting to get back above that 20 EMA. So we'll just still keep oil on watch, and if oil continues to have a good green day, I'm going to shift my focus and shift my attention on over to some of those small cap oil stocks. But for right now, out of the gates, it's all MULN, guys. All MULN. We held above that 209, 210. We saw a nice volume break over pre-market highs of 217. Now that's support. Old resistance, new support. So now as long as we hold above 217, you still have potential to 237 on MULN. And then again, PIK ran right up to its 50 SMA. And again, if we ever do indeed break that 50 SMA on PIK, we could see it up towards around $5. And then we do have some potential up towards around 550 on PIK, guys. All right, so PIK is another top stock we should all absolutely be watching. Support right now is pre-market resistance right around 367. So 367 is our current level of support here on PIK. Breaking over 430 high a day. Your next target is $5. And don't forget about SONM either. If you guys are watching SONM over 123 and 125. We do have potential up to 148 on SONM. And like I said, I'm not really going to be touching stocks like MULN and PIK out of the gate until about 10 o'clock, and I have a reason for that. Last time we saw MULN do this. Nice little break over pre-market highs, nice pullback, looked like it was going to get that momentum push on up. It cracked, it failed, it faded even lower, and then around 10 o'clock, it set up. So I just can't seem to take the trade on MULN because, again, I'm very mindful about market conditions this week. And market conditions have shown me this type of setup. You're like, all right, that's a break and a retest. Great momentum, great potential to the upside, and then it just cracks, fades, and falls. I'm not putting myself in a position to take an unnecessary loss. If that means taking a step back and not trading for the first 30 minutes just to get an idea of how strong the market is and what these market conditions are, that's something that I'm willing to do, right? So I want to walk you guys through the process as to why I'm not willing to take the trade on MULN for my reasonings, right? But again, you are right at support, 216, pre-market high resistance, new support, holding above that 9 EMA as well. Volume looks great, and again, you still have potential to 237. GLG is coming back down towards around 37-cent support. So if you guys were watching GLG because it's a cheap stock, you're going to keep this one on watch right around that 37-cent level to see if it holds up as supports. So right now, again, the top two stocks that have the most action, PIK and MULN. So right now, PIK has a really nice consolidation, kind of looking like a bull flag right into our 9 EMA. You could absolutely start to see some buyers move back in off the 9 EMA and see that momentum follow through. Nice break over 430. You have a lot of great potential up to 5. Right now, supports back down at 367 on PIK. So those are the top two stocks right now, MULN and PIK, right? SONM still needs to break that 123 to get to that 147. So that's a little bit of a back burner if you guys are still watching that. GLG, keep it on watch above 37-cent support. And again, a lot of these back burner oil stocks are just kind of chopping around. So we really want to make sure that this is where traders go and this is where volume is before we consider taking trades on these small cap oil stocks, all right? So right now, it's pretty easy, guys. We're about 11 minutes into the day. We have two stocks that are worth watching, PIK, MULN. I'm going to say MULN for now. So this is going to be the stock that we're just watching right now at this point in time. So right now we're being patient. The only position I have is the mid-candle breakout position on HOUR. All right, guys, I'm in at 359 is my cost basis on HOUR. We're up towards around 370 right now. We don't have the volume. It's not really explosive, but I do think we could see a nice pop in volume move in if we start breaking 375 here. And again, this was just a nice little mid-candle breakout. It's starting to pick on up, but it's not anything substantial, right? 375, we could see a pickup in volume, but a lot of volume is really going to start moving in once we break yesterday's highs and potentially Tuesday's close between $3.94 and $4. That's where we're going to really see some volume move in. All right, we're trying to break over yesterday's open. Next level is 375 and then up towards around 394 and then $4 here on HOUR. We just want to keep the volume on watch. I know it's light volume, but as long as the volume matches the movement, we're still good to go. So we do have decreasing volume on our pullbacks. Every time the stock makes a move up, we do have increased volume. So the volume, even though it's light volume, it's still looking the way it should to continue to see HOUR possibly continue to move on up for that mid-candle breakout, guys. Right now, I'm still only holding the 500 share position. I do not yet want to add to it. I want to wait for a break over 375 and see what happens at that point in time. If we do indeed break over 375 and we're looking good, I may consider adding another 500 shares, as I would think that I'm going to be correct on that mid-candle breakout, and I'd be willing to go into a bigger position and still put my stops back below 350. So for now, Again, that's why I wasn't willing to take MULN. Decent little setup. You have the volume moving in off the 9 EMA, off of prior resistance as new support. But like I said, market conditions really haven't suggested stocks ripping the first 30 minutes, right? You see decent quick setups, and then the stocks are fading and falling until around 10 o'clock. And then we start to see some action. PIK is starting to move on down as well. Right now, 367 is support on PIK. So right now, you got a decent little downtrend on PIK with 367 support. So if we see this take place on PIK, you would have a trade coming on up. So again, we got a very nice explosive move on up, right? That's point number 1 of the downtrend. We can see we have this very nice downtrend here on PIK, right? So we pull back, hit the downtrend, pull back, downtrend, moving lower, hit the downtrend. If we do see PIK establish support above those pre-market highs, right? Pre-market resistance, 367. If we see PIK establish support right at 367, and we do then see volume move back in, buying volume move back in, and we start to break this downtrend, that would signal an entry. Entries would be right around 380. Stops are going to be underneath that level of support. So you got about a 360 stop, got about a 380 potential entry, and your target is going to be back up at resistance. That's going to be right around 420. So you're looking to make 40 cents a share. You're looking to risk about 20 cents a share. It's a good little setup, guys. It's a decent little setup. 2-to-1 setup, risking 20 cents, looking to make 40 cents. Again, holding above support. Holding above old resistance, establishing new support, getting the break of the downtrend, we could see it move back up towards around high a day. So SPY entries, guys, if you're looking at the SPY, breaking and holding over yesterday's close, you could look to take the SPY long, right, guys? So breaking and holding above 435.76, you could absolutely be looking to take the SPY long up towards around 438. Up towards around 439.75, and then up towards around 441 on the SPY. So a simple break and hold above yesterday's close, we could see a nice little $2 pop, maybe even a nice little $4 pop up into the 440s. So if you guys like options, you guys love trading the SPY and the Qs, just look for a simple break and hold above yesterday's close. And you guys are all set, ready to rock. MULN, wait for it to calm down here a little bit, guys. Wait for it just to calm down, settle on off, level on off, near a level of support, maybe right around 10 o'clock. If we start to see this setting on up for a trade, we have an opportunity at that point in time. Again, PIK was a false little breakout there. I mean, it would have worked. That's a quick trade, but again, that was a little false breakout. PIK is definitely a very, very volatile stock right now. Be smart and be patient with PIK. This thing just popped up to 430 and then dropped on off about 50 cents within seconds. So it's still below the downtrend. And as long as it holds that level of support, and we find support here, and we find a double bottom, and we start to see buying volume move back in for a break of the downtrend, that's when you want to get involved, when that actually sets up off support. Now this broke here, the downtrend. You could have scalped it, but that wasn't the trade plan that we built. The trade plan that we built was finding support and establishing support and seeing support right around 367, right? Getting that volume push for a break of the downtrend, then make your entries. Low risk, good reward. So just be patient with PIK, guys. Just be patient here with PIK. I'm not really liking HOUR. If HOUR was indeed going to get that move on up, it would have already started that move. So I'm actually considering to go ahead and just get out at break even, because I do not think HOUR is really going to get that mid candle breakout. I mean, we're 20 minutes into the day and it's had the attempt several times. If it does fall back below, I would say that 350, I'm just going to get out of this trade, period. Because if it cracks back below 350, you'll probably see it crack low a day and move back down to 323. So let me just go ahead and get a hard stop in the system here on HOUR. Go ahead and go stop loss. We're going to put it at 349, right? Right underneath that 350. Where was that low? 349. Let's go 348. All right, so we'll go stop out at 348, right underneath 350, HOUR. We're going to sell, position, stop, 348. If it works, it works. If not, I'm not going to hold this down to 323. That's what happened yesterday with my mid-candle breakout, right? I forgot about it, and I come back looking at it 5 minutes later, and it was down much lower. So I said I'm always going to put those hard stops in, especially if I'm not going to really look at it. So right now, we got to stop at 348, and she's in the system. If it pops and runs, it pops and runs. If it's not, I take a small loss on a starter position. It's a very, very minimal loss. It's the smallest of the losses, and it's not going to really do much. Has anyone had a TOS pull out before your stops? It's happened 2 days in a row. So what kind of stop was it? Was it a stop limit, or was it a stop market? So again, you got two different types of stops. You got a stop with a limit order, or you have a stop with a market order. What kind of stop was it? There you go. You got SONM. So SONM right now is breaking above that 123, and it has room to 148, guys. It was a stop limit. Yeah, I don't know if it was a stop market. I could see how that may take place, but what stock was it, number one, and what were the spreads, right? So if you had a stop at, say, like $3.50, but the spreads are like 30 cents and the bid had briefly dropped below the stop price, it would have triggered your stop loss, even though the price never came that low if there was a large spread. So spreads sometimes can trigger a stop loss prematurely, right, on a spread maybe. So I'm not really sure what stock it was, what the spread looks like, but like everybody else said, yeah, TOS is known for everything, for anything. But it could have been a spread issue. The spread could have prematurely hit that stop. Finally, some good news on Roblox. Shall I look at my long-term portfolio now and see what Roblox is doing? All right, so Roblox having a nice little bounce on up here, guys. Exclusive partnership with Super League Gaming for an in-play advertising in Roblox. That's some pretty good news this morning. Roblox having a decent day. I'm still not convinced I'm going to add to it yet. I mean, you guys knew me. I was adding to it, what, back in January? I still haven't touched it yet. I was going to add to it at 53. I said, yeah, I'm going to hold off. So I'm still just chilling. I got a 68 cost basis. Yeah, my cost basis is up at 68. I kind of want a cost basis in down here, but again, I'm going to wait a little bit because like I said, we could see the markets just rally for a week or two and then roll back over. And if that takes place, Roblox is going to obviously roll back over as well. So I'm still not really convinced that I'm quite ready to, average into some of my long-term holdings. So again, the only reason a lot of these small cap oil stocks will have potential is if oil does well. So if oil continues to move higher and it's in a nice little uptrend and we see some good action here on oil today, then yeah, absolutely. HUSA can see a nice little pop. INPP could pop up. INDO could pop up. But look at how choppy these charts are right now. These are very choppy stocks. I mean, they're right at support, but they're very choppy. And the only reason these stocks are going to become explosive again and start ripping to the upside is if oil starts moving to the upside aggressively. So with that being said, the only reason we see these small cap oil stocks really start tearing to the upside again is if we start to see oil performing well. And oil's having a pretty decent little day here. We're up 7%. We're breaking back above 100. We're back above that 101.50. So we could absolutely see oil have a strong day back up to 105, 110. And if that's the case, we could absolutely see INDO move higher, IMPP, and HUSA. ISIG, no. Look at all that resistance at the 20 EMA. So ISIG has so much resistance right at that 20 EMA. And we could see 888 resistance, 888 resistance, 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 resistance. And then today, 890, right at that 20 EMA. So you got a lot of resistance here on ISIG. But again, it looks like a daily reversal, right? You see that drop on down, the bounce back up, the lower low, the bounce back up, the higher low, the bounce back up. So what is this? Left shoulder, head, potential right shoulder, right? It's very choppy. It's not clean, but you can see the potential left shoulder. You can see the head, and you can see the right shoulder. And you can see that could be a neckline off this reversal formation. So what I would say is if ISIG gets a nice strong volume break, I'd call it $9, breaking that neckline off the potential inverse head and shoulders on the daily, you could see it up to the 200 SMA. I mean, you can probably catch about $1 to the upside on ISIG, but the only thing right now is just there's no volume, right? There's no volume. Yeah, I don't think HOUR is going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and replace my stop order here real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and put a stop at... No, I couldn't do a stop at 358, could I? I can throw a limit order out there. Yeah, I'm going to try and get out at my cost basis here. So 359. I'm going to try and throw a stop order out if we see it pop back up a little bit and try and get out around maybe 359, because again, it's just not doing anything, and I highly doubt it's really going to do anything, guys. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and throw a limit order out there to sell those 500 shares. See if we get a fill at maybe 355, maybe. Go 3.57. Let's just go throw a stop at 357. Not a stop, but a limit order. So we'll go limit order out, and we're going to go out at 357 and see if we get a fill right there close to the entry. Actually, we'll go 358 and see if we get a little tick up for a fill on that limit order. So hour 5 sell, boom, boom, boom. Let's go ahead and cancel the stop loss. Let's go ahead and throw the limit at 358. You guys can see I just threw my limit right there at 358 on the ask, and I'll just see if I get filled. If not, I'll tick down to 357 and see if I get a fill at 357. Last order that just went through is at 360, so I'll throw one at 357 and see if that brings me down for a fill at 357. Let's just go ahead and get out before it cracks. 3.52. Let's just replace that at 352. And I'm out. All right, got filled at 352. I'm out. I don't like it. It's not doing anything. We can take HOUR off watch for now because HOUR is just not getting that mid candle that we thought it could. So I'll go ahead and get out there at 352. Cost basis was 359. That is the smallest loss I've probably ever taken. Yeah, $30 loss. Now that I'm out, it's going to run, guys, right? So now that I'm out of the trade, right? The market knows me. The market knows it's just going to chop around, do nothing while I'm in a trade. But when I get out, it starts ripping. So you guys are good to go, all right? Josh is out. You can go ahead and buy it, and it's going to rip and run for you. All right, so PIK is falling below its level of support. So right now, PIK is definitely not worth your time. But MULN is definitely worth your time, guys. I mean, this was a good trade out of the gate, right? I personally wasn't touching it, but this is a good little washout along the $2, even when it broke and held over that 209, right? You had a nice little push on up. I mean, you came down and took a little bit of heat. If you were getting in right here off that 209 retest for the break, you took a little bit of heat, but you're hitting target right now at 237. So right now you are hitting target right at 237 on MULN. This is the level that you need to be locking in some profits, guys. Now, seriously, like when I get out of trades, like it wasn't doing anything. Let's literally go look at HOUR. I mean, is there a reason to stay in this choppy trade? Not really. I was in right here, right? We see the initial pop and I wanted to see the mid candle breakout. Chops around a little bit, pops back up, looking good. And then it's like not doing anything. There's no volume. It's not moving. I'm like, you know what? Why do I hold this? Why am I holding this? There's no reason to be in this. Look at the chart. It's not doing anything. It's probably not going to do anything. And then I get out here, and then it just pops back up. Again, it's still not a high volume play. It's still not really doing much. Could it? Absolutely, but it's not worth it. Mid-candle breakouts typically work the first 15 minutes. You know if it's a mid-candle or not. Usually you get those mid-candle breakouts, again, the first 15 minutes of the day, and you see that explosive move. It's not doing anything. I held that trade for 30 minutes. It's not doing much. I'm going to get out. I'm just going to get out and take my focus somewhere else. All right, ladies and gentlemen on YouTube, I always forget, 9:45, the stream comes down. All right, we did our free stream yesterday. I hope you guys had some fun. I hope you guys were able to get prepared today and understand the top stocks. Again, we already knew that coming into the day that a lot of the best setups would probably start presenting themselves closer to 10 o'clock. Now, again, not exactly what we've been seeing the last 3 days. We saw some decent setups on MULN out of the gate, and we just hit our 237 target to the penny. So if you guys took that trade for the break and retest over that 209 Monday resistance, you guys just hit your target for a nice little nearly 30 cents a trade, 30 cents a share there. So not too shabby. You know, MULN is still our #1 stock that we're going to be watching. And MULN over the 50 SMA, guys, we do have potential to 276. So right now, my #1 stock that I'm watching is MULN off the trend line for a break over 237. We do have some room to 276, but I'm going to throw it at 274, a couple cents below that level of resistance. All right, so MULN is the #1 stock that everybody should be watching. SONN is doing absolutely nothing right now today, guys. Not worth your time. PIK is cracking, fading, and falling. Currently not worth your time. SONM, maybe it's worth your time if it breaks and holds over 123. That's when you can get involved with it. But until then, I wouldn't touch it until it's breaking and staying above 123 on SONM. You got a little bit of a bounce here on GLG right off that level of support from post-market. It's actually 36, not 37, but right around that penny level. And we could see GLG slowly grind its way back up to 49 cents. So definitely be watching GLG here, guys. Again, you have 36 cent support, and you could see this back up to the top end of the channel, which would be right around 49 cents. Again, INDO, INPP, and HUSA aren't really going to get that explosive move unless we see oil get that explosive move. All right, guys, so that's what I'm leaving you guys with. It is a slower day in penny stock land, but we have some great opportunity. There was a nice little trade on MULN. There was no reason to get involved with PIK. And then GLG was right off that level of support. And it looks like Kids King got it right there at 37 cents. So good job, man. Getting prepared, listening to the morning preparation, getting yourself ready to go, seeing the setup, focusing on your stock, your opportunity, not needing me to commentate it. You're confident. You're ready to go. You build a plan. You're locking in profits all by yourself, Kids King. So good job on that. Paying attention this morning, getting prepared, making those entries. Currently got some profits on the table. Best of luck, and I hope this one gets all the way to that 49 for you, boss.